Welcome back, investors, to Ticker Time News. I'm Adam, and here we are for another market close live stream. We are doing this a little bit later than we normally do because we got a few requests asking us if we could push this back to a little later, because one of the core tenets to our live stream is answering your questions. So if you have a company you would like us to look at, leave the ticker symbol and your questions in the comments, and we will go over it live on the show. So make sure to leave that ticker symbol and your question in the comments. We'll look at the charts, the financials. We'll go over the company together live on the stream. So if you have a question, make sure to leave that question in the comments. I'm going to make sure we are all set up here and ready to go. Get the comments pulled up here, and then we're going to jump into it. So we'll talk about the markets today, which seem to be rather flat, a little bit to the downside. And we'll talk about some winners and some losers in the stock market today. We'll talk about cryptocurrency and how that's shaping up. And we've got a couple of stories to talk about as well. But remember, the most important thing is answering your questions. So if you have any questions, leave the ticker symbol and the comment or question in the comments, and we will go over that live on air. So hopefully you, well, I should say, I am here for you, and it's the favorite part, my most favorite part, thing that I love to do during this live stream is your questions. I know I keep repeating that over and over again. It's just very important to me that I get that message across, that this show is not for me, this show is for you. So just a couple more clicks here and we will be diving right into it. You know, doing a live stream, it's a very interesting thing to do. You can't make any edits. You can't say, oh, well, I should have said something a little bit differently. I should have cut that out. Maybe I should have edited that little gap out. So doing a live stream is definitely different in that sense. But I like it. It's fun. And again, the best part is answering your questions. So today in the market, here's what I saw. This morning, the trade seemed to be dictated by maybe mechanical bids, artificial bids, or a see, this is a part that you would like to edit out of a video when you forget what you're trying to say. Oh, but anyways, I can't remember the word, but it seems like a mechanical trade, and that's because the trades seem to be on the small side, triggered by algorithms and so forth. But all the major indices by this afternoon, they had all turned south. I mean, we were green when the market opened, but that mechanical trade seemed to close us out at session lows for the day. The Dow Jones fell around 250 points. The S&P retreated about 0.7%, and the Nasdaq shed about 0.6%. Gold was flat at $17.54 an ounce, as a rally in some commodity prices, such as oil, of course, coal, and aluminum. Aluminum actually reached a 13-year high today. All of this rekindled fears of persistent inflation and concerns over a global slowdown. And we'll talk about this a little bit more in detail later on, but the markets, it's not right when you go out into the real world. When we leave the computers behind and we go to the grocery store, prices are going up everywhere. The gas in our vehicles is going up. The fuel to heat our homes is going up. The groceries at the store are going up. Prices everywhere are going up. And these shortages are just getting worse. As far as the market today, though, there wasn't really any specific news catalyst to account for the reversal that the market made today, which appeared to be technically oriented. The early advance by the S&P 500 stalled around Friday's high of 44.12, and we can actually take a look at that on the stock chart here. This is SoFi I have pulled up. Now, when I look at the S&P 500, I go to the SPX as the ticker symbol. And again, this is in Trading View. This is where we do all of our stock market technical analysis on different stocks and so forth. But you can see here, the stock market, we had this nice green candle in the morning, and then it stalled right here around the 44.12 mark, and then it was just a sell-off after the market. Now, last Friday in the live stream, I talked about the 50-day moving average and how that's so important for the market, for stocks in general. If the market is trading above the 50-day moving average, then the market overall tends to be bullish. If the market is trading under the 50-day moving average, then the market is typically bearish. And we can see that right here on this chart. If we go back and look at our peak that we made at the beginning of September 3rd, right here, September 2nd. After we started trading down, of course, the 50-day moving average, let me just point that out, that's the blue line that you see here following the candles on the chart. But when the stocks are, or indices, when they're trading below the 50-day moving average, you can see this downcline all the way down, and we're below this blue line, the 50-day moving average. Of course, that swapped positions right here on the 7th, where the market did this, or the S&P 500 in particular, did this gap up right here. But in general, this is something that you can use when you're trying to gauge, well, is this going to be a rally for the bulls, or are the bears going to come in and pull this thing down? And if we go back in time just a little bit further, if we look at this rally right here, and we'll just pick a day right here, May 19th. If we start here, and once we made that rally up, once we started trading in this channel, and we were in this rally, the 50-day moving average acted as support for the most part for the stocks. Of course, the 200-day moving average is really what stopped the stock market from falling when it made these V-shaped moves in the market. You can see there was 3 of them in this channel. But the 200-day moving average is what really stopped it. But the 50-day moving average, you can see that as we were in this rally, minus these 3 V-shapes in this trend channel here, you can see that the 50-day moving average acted as support all the way up. And then once we switched and we started to go into a reversal here, you can see that the 50-day moving average started to act as resistance. So that's just something that you can keep in mind. You know, it acted as resistance again here. When you're trading, it doesn't work every time, but it is a pretty clear-cut way to give you a quick first view. You know, is this stock in a bull run? Is it in bear territory? This is a quick way to determine that. So just wanted to point that out there to you. And if you notice here too, it did stall today, the S&P 500, right on the 50-day moving average. Now, what will happen tomorrow when the market's open? Well, one of the big catalysts that we'll talk about is the CPI report that comes out Wednesday, first thing in the morning, right before the market's open. That is going to be this week's big driver. So as we go back to talk about the market here, traders do await something special this week, the kickoff to earnings season. And that starts with the major banks. They're set to report their third quarter results this week, and they're expected to beat expectations and provide positive sounding commentary on earnings prospects and capital return plans. And also, the FOMC, or the Federal Open Market Committee, well, their minutes come out on Wednesday after the September CPI data, which is released before the markets are open at 8:30 Eastern. And that'll be our big catalyst this week. Will inflation continue to rise, or will inflation start to plateau and reflect down? That's what we'll have to see when the CPI data comes out this week. To me, I don't think inflation is cooling off quite yet. And I don't think inflation is cooling off as fast as others might think it is, or maybe hope that it is. I think inflation is going to tick up a little bit more. I don't think we're going to see a huge reflection point in the CPI data. I hope I'm wrong. I hope inflation is cooling down. But when you go out into the real world and you see what everything is costing, you see all the container ships on the West Coast just getting no entry, no dockage. Their products are spoiling, sitting on the ship out in the Pacific Ocean. So it doesn't look good for inflation in the numbers that are coming out on Wednesday morning. Oil, speaking about inflation, oil tapped $82.14 a barrel, the highest since October 2014, I believe it was. That's incredible. Oil over $80 a barrel, that is not a good sign for inflation either. That's not even a good sign for our economy. I don't think our economy is doing quite as well as many think it is. The mainstream media talks a lot about the economy's recovering, it's doing good, it's just not going as fast as we would like. Sure, I could see that argument, but the economy, it's not firing on all cylinders right now. So there's definitely something amiss. Is it the labor shortage? Is it the supply chain that has seemed to fallen apart? You have stores that are closing because they can't get their products to sell. So it's pretty bad out there. I don't want to be a doomsdayer and be all negative about the economy. I like to be optimistic too, but I want to be realistic. Above all, realistic, with some optimism sprinkled in there. So natural gas also spiked, but it did ease, and natural gas came to a 2-week low today. This added to people worrying, and rightfully so, about energy prices. This did help push green tech stocks a little bit higher today. With prices still going up, it's hard to see the inflation going down this month. Maybe not even on the October report will inflation reflect down. So we'll just have to wait and see. We've got, let's see, today's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so a day and a half, 2 days, we'll know for sure how the inflation reading comes in. We went to the grocery store and our cart wasn't full at all, but the bill made it seem like the cart was absolutely full and overflowing with stuff. So, I'm just not having a good feeling about inflation right now. Now, on to some specific stocks. Wedbush upgraded Carvana, ticker symbol CVNA, to outperform from neutral with a price target of $360. and that's up from a price target of $350. And if we just type in here Carvana real quick to see what their stock is looking like, you can see that since they hit their peaks back here, let's call this August 10th, this peak right here, they've been in a downcline for the past couple of months. And they seem to have found some type of support down here. Let's see, I'll call that right at the $282 range as support. And it's starting to flatten out. You can see the 21-day moving average, which is the purple line. It's looking to be almost flat, slightly down, but kind of flat. And that's a whole lot better than this downtrend that it was in. So maybe the upgrade today helped to prevent Carvana from slipping below this support line. But anyways, here's what they had to say for Carvana. Again, this is outperform in a price target of 360. So there's a lot of room here. They see strong upside to near-term profitability from retail and finance gross profits per unit, and the recent stock price underperformance provides an opportunity in Carvana shares. They believe the company has built a very solid financing business, with profitability rising to record levels in Q2. So that's good for Carvana. Another one I want to talk about is not so good, but it's Hyliion. This company did quite well in the early days as far as speculating for the stock. It had a high of $30, and it has just fallen and continued to fall all the way to where it is now at $6.90. You can see for the beginning of October, it kind of looked like maybe things were going to start to turn around for Hyliion. They were at support around $7.50, but you can see this big empty space right here. This is where Hyliion gapped down from this bad news for Hyliion here. But they were down 11.7%. So what they had to say about Hyliion, and you let me know if you believe this or not, if this is what you feel or you think it's going to come out differently. But UBS downgraded Hyliion Holdings, ticker symbol HYLN, to sell from neutral with a price target of $5. And they had a price target of $14. They note that the company is not going to meet revenue expectations for 2022 through 2024, which is a key validation driver. The firm says Hyliion hitting milestones has taken longer than expected. The firm expects a careful customer adoption rate going forward and notes that market conditions such as supply chain and labor shortages are now more challenging. The firm thinks Hyliion shares currently reflect, quote, overly optimistic expectations for its sales ramp. Ouch. And again, shares were down 11.7% today too. So not very good for Hyliion. Now, moving on to a better situation is SoFi, ticker symbol SOFI. SoFi today did the complete opposite of what Hyliion did today, and for some really good reasons. So yesterday, starting Saturday, I was doing research on SoFi because one of you requested that I do a video on SoFi. So I started doing my DD and research into SoFi on Saturday. Excuse me. I created the video on Sunday and had it uploaded to YouTube and ready to publish this afternoon. So it was already scheduled to go out at 2 o'clock today. Well, this morning when I look and I see there's been an upgrade and I see the stock has completely skipped the resistance line, I couldn't help myself but laugh. So in the SoFi video, and I hope you check it out because it's got a ton of information in it, but in the SoFi video, I do talk about the chart and where things are for SoFi. And I talked about this resistance line right here. And I said, as SoFi approaches this resistance line, they're going to need volume and momentum to push above this momentum line. Because over the past, since September 30th, the volume for SoFi has been trending down. However, relative strength index has been trending up. So a bit of a divergence there for those two metrics, but it had to gap up and land right above. I mean, the wick is literally almost right there on the resistance trend line that I had drawn out for the company. So timing is perfect for it. So about the upgrade for SoFi. So Morgan Stanley initiated coverage on SoFi. You could call it an upgrade. With an overweight rating and a $25 price target. The firm calls SoFi a, quote, powerful revenue growth story. And I find that funny as well, because that's exactly something that I said in the video on SoFi. And they continue, as it ramps up to share of the consumer financial services wallet. The firm notes competition is rising, but the firm believes the company has a leg up given its roots in the hardest part of consumer financing, lending, along with a robust digital offering. We created like I said, a SoFi video yesterday, and it went live this afternoon at 2 o'clock, so make sure you do watch that one. But I had no idea the stock was going to lift off today, and it finished today up 13.45%. So that was a beautiful gain after the market, I think, and this is what I said in the SoFi video, that the market misunderstood what happened with SoFi in the $1.1 billion, basically a loan that SoFi got. You know, that loan isn't that bad of a thing. It allows SoFi to maybe make an acquisition. Maybe it's for their bank charter. Maybe they needed the money for who knows what reason. But they get to use that money for the next 5 years, and they get to reap the rewards from that money over the next 5 years before the balance is due. And they set it at such a high level, such a high price target, that you've got to believe shares of SoFi were tremendously undervalued when they made this deal. Because most of the time when companies need to borrow money, you know, maybe it's because they're not doing so hot and they need that money. But SoFi was trading down here in the middle of August at $13.50 a share. And I think the stock can go up to $28, $30, definitely over the next 3 years. I think the company could turn and become positive in the next 3 years. So we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. But anyways, yeah, that's SoFi. Watch the video. There's a ton of information in that video about SoFi that you'll find interesting. So to kind of wrap this segment up, that's what I saw in the market today. What did you see in the market today that you liked or didn't? And remember, you can leave a question in the comments and we will be sure to go over it live on air. So I want to hop over to look at the companies that did well today and those that didn't. But real quick, this overview chart right here, it gives you a bird's eye view of how the market did today. And you can see the majority of the market was in the 0 to down 2% range. And then there was a good chunk of the market that was up in the 0 to 2% range. This is very similar to what we saw on Friday. But on Friday, it was slightly greener there was slightly more green than there were red. So I think that the market is just waiting for Wednesday morning and the CPI data to come out. Is inflation still iron hot? Has it started to cool off? What's happening? So tomorrow, I wouldn't expect the market to go crazy either unless there's some big news that comes out. But topping the list today, of course, is SoFi, up 13.45% today. And again, make sure you watch that SoFi video. It is filled to the brim with information about SoFi. It's a good video, but I may be a little biased on that. We also have solar stocks in here. We've got SunPower. They were up 9.1% to $26. Marathon Digital, Riot Blockchain. Of course, we're going to have our cryptocurrency stocks in here. And we will go over cryptocurrency in just a moment. We've got Hive. We've got SunNova Energy. They were up 6%, both of them. Let's see. Another Solar Edge, Sunworks, a whole bunch of solar companies in the top here for today, up over 5 and 6%. And we got Grayscale Bitcoin Trust up again, and another 4.6%. I think that's been in the green here for a few days now. Lithium Americans, of course, with the electric vehicle transition that we're in as a country, lithium is going to become a big source of revenue and profits. Bit Digital, Enphase Energy back over $160. This one was down in the 140s last week and the week before. So glad to see that's climbing back up. Arrival, it took a hit, but it was up 4.3% today. This is another electric vehicle company. They make larger vehicles like buses. They're at $15 now a share. Sunrun, another solar company, up 4.2%. They're at $45. This company has been up in the $60 range. So if you're looking for solar companies, again, like I said earlier in the video, because of oil prices and natural gas prices spiking in the markets today, that caused a lot of green energy companies to then also spike in the market because people are running to the alternative fuel sources as a way to lower costs so they're not burdened so much with the high cost of oil and gas and so forth. Array Technologies, they build solar panels and stuff. Let's see, First Solar is on here. Bloom Energy. We got the Invesco Solar ETF, ticker symbol TAN, T-A-N. So if you're not sure what solar company you want to get into, start with an ETF, a simple basket of solar companies that build solar panels and inverters and so forth. Start with an ETF, a basket, and then you can learn about the individual stocks while you're riding in that basket of multiple solar energy stocks. Again, that ticker symbol is TAN, T-A-N. They were up 3.6%. They're up over $81 now. We got ChargePoint, Canadian Solar. Man, a ton of solar on here today. And then, of course, Coinbase, it's up to $256. It was up 3.3% today. MicroStrategy up here. We got GameStop up, what's that, 3.1%. They're at $178. Let's see what else we have. Hut 8 Mining. Again, anything related to cryptocurrency, anything related to solar did really well today. Canoe, they were up 2.4%. Electric vehicle company, they're at $6.63. All right, let's see. Faraday Futures, another solar sorry, I'm thinking solar on the brain here. Electric vehicle company. Let's see. Golden Nuggets and DraftKings, both up. Those are your sports betting type of plays. All right, now we're getting down to the 1% here. Plug Power, they're up 1%. All right, so that's what we got here for the winners. You see a lot. There's Open Door. They had a big day last week. They were up 1.4% today. They're to $21.97, getting ready to break that $22. They also got a big loan, bunch of money, so they can go shopping as the housing market starts to cool off and prices start to come down. Open Door has a ton of cash, a ton of money that they can go shopping and buy homes for their iBuyer program, where they're basically flipping homes. They buy them, do a little fix up on them, and then sell them. So Open Door Technologies, that ticker symbol is OPEN, OPEN, if you want to check them out. Now for our losers, poor Hyliion's up here, 11.7%. We talked about them already. Let's see. TrueLeaf Medic, that's one of your cannabis stocks. Let's see, anything good on sale? Children's Place, Gap, so a couple of Etsy up here, lost 4.5%. So some retailers here. Oh, we got Affirm. Finally, people were taking some profits on a crazy run from Affirm. They were down 4.3% today. And if we look at the chart here for Affirm, you can see here where they were taking the space shuttle out to the launch pad, and then they ignited, and boom, they shot up. They were at a low here of $46.50. $46, and they're at $135 is where they closed today. Wow. 46 to 140, call it. That's incredible. So, yep, people were taking profits on Affirm today. As far as getting in on Affirm right now, if you look right here, nice little trough that it's made there. It's at all-time highs. You know, it's close to all-time highs. Its all-time high was $146. That's just a little too rich, I think, right now for Affirm. If Affirm had a nice pullback where it came down here, you know, maybe $100 level, because you can see there's support right about here at the $100 level. If it came back to this support around $100, then that's where I would be looking for it, because it's got a little support here at about $107. There was this gap up phase, and if we go under that gap, I mean, there were two gaps in a row here for Affirm. So big news from Amazon, shot it up, and then another gap up when it talked about Walmart and such. So, I mean, this company's got to cool off before taking any more nibbles at it, going in for it. All right, let's hop back over to the other companies. Again, I'm watching the chat here. If you guys want to talk about any companies, leave the ticker symbol and your question in the comments, and we will definitely go over it. Burlington, we got another Southwest. Boy, Southwest had a hard time. I'm not sure which news story to believe for Southwest. Either they have a labor shortage because of the labor shortage in the market, or it was bad weather. I don't know about that one. And maybe a problem with traffic control. Again, I'm not sure, but they had thousands of flights canceled. Also, a story that they're trying to mandate the vaccine, and pilots rejected that mandate. And so they're on basically, they can't go on strike because of their contracts, but they can call in and have a sick day. So, which was it? What was the story? I don't know, but it's a story to watch and pay attention to. Let's see. Hydrofarm Holdings, they make irrigation products. Your cannabis stocks will go there. Dogecoin is on the down list, down 3.7%. ADA, Cardano, also down 3.6%. That's at $2.14 right now. Urban Outfitter, Kohl's, again, retail clothing there. What else we got on here? Uber was down 3%. Let's see, Oatly, they had a big pop at the end on Friday, end of the week there, but they were down 3%, so people were taking profits. But it is up 1.7% in after hours, so that's interesting. Let's see, John Deere down 3%, Callaway Golf down 2.99%. Malibu Boats was down 2.8%. That puts them at $69. Lululemon down 2.8%. Let's see what else we have. Square was down 2.5%. They're at $232. Litecoin down 2.5%. Seems like there was some profit taking on some of these big name companies and cryptos there. Red Robin, we got your Eat Out there. Lordstown Motors, they just got hit again, down 2.5%. They're at $4.78. Again, just taking a hit there steadily every day, it seems like. All right, well, now we're down to the 1% level. So those are the bigger ones that took a hit today. Again, not too bad. You know, there were some in the 5%ers, but not too bad for today with those that are down. To go shopping, you want to look for companies that are hurting, that are down really far. Don't take a firm being down 4.3% today and think that would be a good entry point. You need stocks to be down considerably in order to go in and buy those stocks. All right, looking at crypto, our momentum cryptocurrency today is called Lightning. Its ticker is LGHT. I'm sorry, that might be LIGHT. It was up 10.3% today. But the biggest gainer today, and I don't know how these coins can keep on doing this, but there's some big runs. Green Moon, ticker symbol GRM, was up 38,499.57% today. That is just incredible. 38,000%. And that's Green Moon. That is, wow. It would have been nice to have ridden that today. There's a lot of money that can be made trading cryptocurrency, but it's really easy to get burnt as well. So you got to be careful there. But Bitcoin is up to 57,417. They were up 3.3% over the past 24 hours, up 16.95% over the last 7 days. Ethereum is at 3508. They're down 0.5% over the last 24 hours, but they're up 3.45% over the last 7 days. And then we have Cardano in the number 3 spot. They were down 4% here over the last 24 hours. They're at $2.15 here on this chart. They are down 1.89% over the past 7 days. Then we got Bitcoin Cash and Tether, XRP there for your top 5. Of course, the so-called stablecoin of Tether. I don't know if you saw that article or not from Bloomberg about Tether asking where are the billions of dollars. It's an interesting read for sure. It gets you thinking. But as far as crypto is doing, where could Bitcoin go? Now, this article talks about Bitcoin all-time high is expected, but not before a pullback. So they say the options market is placing a 20% probability on Bitcoin ending the month at a new all-time high above $65,000. That's right. So it says here, bullish sentiment continues to grow after Bitcoin's price broke above $57,000 on Monday. Bitcoin is up about 3% over the last 24 hours, extending its outperformance compared to alternative cryptocurrencies. Analysts see continued upside, with some calling for a return to all-time or near all-time of $63,000 this quarter. The crypto rally is impressive since it occurred in the face of a broader risk-off environment in both equities and bonds, with crypto markets seemingly decoupling from the equities markets. That's what Coinbase wrote in a newsletter last week to institutional clients. We are seeing Bitcoin clearly lead this market up as evidenced by Bitcoin dominance. BTC or Bitcoin market cap relative to the total crypto market cap, reaching multi-month highs. So again, that's what Coinbase said in a note to institutional investors. The initial Bitcoin spike last week could be the result of traders taking large positions ahead of a rumored approval by the SEC of a futures-based Bitcoin ETF. That would be amazing news for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. That would definitely, if the SEC approves an ETF for Bitcoin and or other cryptos, that would help to send the market up to what many say is $100,000 by the end of the year. Bitcoin at $100,000 by the end of the year. They continue, for now, technicals suggest the current rally is due for a pullback. The recent uptrend appears to be exhausted. All right, so let's look at Bitcoin right quick here. All right, so we got Bitcoin. I want to start looking at it at a macro point. So I'm going to go to the day chart. Yep, I do have a ton of lines drawn here on Bitcoin. I watch it closely, fascinated by it all. Okay, so if we look at the daily chart here for Bitcoin, we see a couple things. Number one, starting right here, the end of September, the beginning of October, that's when Bitcoin started its big rally, okay? So we went up 1, 2, 3 bars, and then we had our first red candle. And then we went up 1, 2, 3 bars, and we had another red candle. Now we've had a couple small green candles. How many is it? 2 green candles, a small red one, and then a larger green candle. So it was sitting here at resistance at about 55,500. And that's where resistance was holding it for now. And like I said last week several times, once Bitcoin broke this trend line resistance right here, the next big resistance for Bitcoin is not until it reaches $60,000. $59,000, $60,000, that's the next big resistance. There's smaller resistance lines throughout here that are in price channel resistance, but they're a little weaker. Once we get to the trend line resistance right here, we also have a price line resistance. Those two together will create the stronger resistance for Bitcoin. And again, that's around the 59,000 to 60,000. But I think Bitcoin will be able to consolidate and then push above that. I really do believe Bitcoin, it could get to $100,000 by the end of the year. It's doable, especially when you go back and look at past history cycles like maybe 2013 or 2017, and you compare them to what's happening now, and you can see some relation there. Not saying it's a one-to-one relation, but you can see a relation there for sure. But anyways, Bitcoin, yes, since it's hit this price line resistance, it has stalled out just a little bit here. And you can see that with the candles. What they said in the article was Bitcoin looked exhausted. Yes, Bitcoin went on a big run, 3 greens, 1 red, 3 greens, 1 red, all the way up to 55,500. Then it started to cool off, consolidate for a few days, and then broke that resistance. So now it might cool off a little bit, then break that price resistance, and then it's going to get to one of the bigger resistance challenges it'll have in this run it's on right now. So keep your eye out for Bitcoin and this price resistance and trend resistance. It's right between $59,000 and $60,000 for Bitcoin. All right. So any questions, any ticker symbols you want to talk about, drop them in the comments. We'll go over them live on air. I'll give you a few minutes to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap it up right here. I would like to say, if anyone is going to ask a question, make sure to check out the SoFi video that we dropped today. That's live. You can find that YouTube/TickerTime News. You can also go to our Twitter account, and that's at TickerTime News. All the links are in the descriptions. Don't forget to sign up for Webull or TradingView or Coinbase and get your freebies. All those links are in the description below. They do help out the channel, and it's greatly appreciated when you do click on those links. So just make sure to do that. Help us out. Also, you can head over to Patreon and help support our work that we do and the videos that we put out. You can also go to PayPal and send us a one-time donation if you would like. Completely up to you. But all those links and all of the freebies are in the description below. So make sure you check that out and click on those. All right, if there are no questions, I'm going to wrap it up right here. I want to thank you so very much for watching. Make sure to smash that like button, share this video with everyone, and click subscribe to join our family of investors. Thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you again for watching.